Guys, this is actually crazy. The experts just revealed 15 common household items that could literally decide if you survive the next major crisis or not. And no, I'm not exaggerating. They've warned that ignoring these items might leave you totally helpless when society breaks down. Look, when survival experts tell you something is essential, it's time to pay attention. Today, I'm breaking down the 15 underrated survival items you'll desperately wish you had when everything goes sideways. When a crisis hits, everyone thinks about food, water, and shelter, but what about those little, seemingly useless things you've never even considered? Today, I'm not talking about typical survival gear. Instead, I'm revealing 15 shockingly underrated items you've probably ignored, but will desperately need when everything goes wrong. Trust me, after today, you'll never look at these ordinary items the same way again. Oh, and if you find value in staying alive, hit that subscribe button right now, because your life might just depend on it someday. Number 1, pencil sharpener. I know what you're thinking. A pencil sharpener? Seriously? But listen carefully. This tiny, overlooked piece of stationery could literally be your key to survival when you're stranded without matches or a lighter. Here's the deal. During a crisis, fire isn't optional, it's essential. Without heat, you can't boil water, cook food, or stay warm enough to avoid hypothermia, which, by the way, kills people quicker than you think. Now imagine you're out of tinder, your lighter is out of fuel, and there's not a dry twig in sight. This is where your humble pencil sharpener becomes a lifesaver. By simply shaving sticks or branches with its blade, you can quickly create ultra-thin, dry wood shavings, perfect for catching even the tiniest spark. And because the shavings are so fine, they ignite rapidly, giving you a reliable way to get a fire going in wet or harsh conditions. But here's the key. Not all sharpeners are created equal. Always choose one with a solid metal blade, not those flimsy plastic ones. Trust me, you don't want your only fire-starting tool breaking when you need it most. Bottom line, you should throw a good quality pencil sharpener into your survival kit right now. It weighs practically nothing, takes minimal space, and might just save your life by guaranteeing a fire in the worst possible scenario. Seriously, this isn't just stationery anymore, it's your lifeline. Number 2, chapstick, lip balm. Hold on, I'm not joking here. Chapstick or any basic lip balm is a legit survival powerhouse, and you'll kick yourself for overlooking it. You're probably thinking, okay, great for chapped lips, but how does it help me survive a crisis? Well, let me tell you, chapstick is essentially compact petroleum jelly in a tube, and petroleum jelly is gold when things go south. Picture this. It's freezing cold, you're exhausted, and hypothermia is setting in. Without a reliable fire, you're in real trouble. Your trusty chapstick can solve this. Take a tiny amount, spread it onto some dry cotton or fabric, and you'll have a waterproof fire starter that catches sparks instantly and burns steadily even when wet. Yep, chapstick just became your match replacement, but that's not all. Cuts and scrapes in a survival situation can quickly turn dangerous. Your chapstick doubles as a protective barrier, preventing infection from dirt and grime entering your wounds. It also soothes irritated skin, protects from windburn, and even prevents frostbite by sealing moisture out. Another life-saving use? It stops gear from rusting. A quick swipe of chapstick on metal tools or knife blades ensures they're ready and rust-free when you need them most. In short, this seemingly innocent little tube in your pocket might be the most versatile survival tool you never knew you needed. Next time you're at the store, grab a few tubes. Toss one into your survival kit because, trust me, chapstick might just save your life one day. Number 3, reflective tape. Okay, I know reflective tape sounds more like something you'd see on construction sites than in survival kits, but stick with me here. When a crisis hits and you're stranded, visibility isn't just convenient, it's life-saving. Imagine this. You're lost in the wilderness or trapped in a disaster area. Night falls, and rescue teams are desperately scanning for signs of life, but you're practically invisible. That's exactly when reflective tape becomes your best friend. Even the smallest piece of tape can reflect light from flashlights, vehicle headlights, or search helicopters from astonishingly far distances, significantly increasing your odds of being spotted. It's like waving a bright beacon that screams, "I'm here, come rescue me." But there's more. Reflective tape is incredibly versatile beyond signaling. Need to mark your path through unfamiliar terrain? Stick small pieces on trees, branches, or rocks as trail markers, perfect for avoiding getting lost further. Got gear scattered in the dark? Add strips to essential items so you can quickly locate them at night, saving precious time and energy. Here's a quick pro tip. Choose industrial-grade reflective tape designed for outdoor use. Cheap tapes lose reflectivity quickly, especially after rain or rough handling. High-quality tape remains reflective even after extreme weather conditions, making it genuinely life-saving. The bottom line: reflective tape weighs practically nothing, takes up minimal space, and ensures you'll never go unnoticed when survival hangs in the balance. Don't underestimate its power, it might literally save your life one day. Number 4, steel wool. Alright, buckle up, this next item is literally going to blow your mind. Steel wool, the stuff you usually associate with scrubbing dirty pots and pans, is secretly one of the most underrated survival items you could ever have. And I'm not exaggerating. This wiry, scratchy bundle might just be your ticket to making fire when everything else fails. Think about this scenario. You're stuck, it's pouring rain, your matches are soaked, your lighter has quit, and hypothermia is closing in fast. You need a fire now. This is where steel wool comes in as your lifesaver. Here's the trick. Steel wool is made up of tiny, extremely fine strands of metal, which can ignite almost instantly when exposed to even a small electrical charge. Have a simple battery? A phone battery, flashlight battery, or even a car battery will work. Touching the terminals of a battery to steel wool creates a rapid reaction, instantly heating the wool enough to produce glowing sparks and flames. Within seconds, you'll have a reliable fire-starting source that works even under tough conditions like wind or dampness. It sounds crazy, but it absolutely works, every single time. And there's more. Steel wool isn't just a fire starter. If you're stranded in the wilderness, survival experts recommend it as a rust remover for critical gear. Got tools covered in grime or rust that you need to function? Steel wool quickly restores their usability. It also works incredibly well to keep sharp edges like knives or axes clean and ready, ensuring they're in peak condition when you need them most. Now, before you toss steel wool into your survival kit, here's an important tip. Choose the ultra-fine grade number 0000 steel wool, usually sold in hardware stores. It ignites the fastest and most reliably. Make sure to store it in waterproof zip bags or sealed containers to prevent accidental moisture damage. Trust me, the last thing you want is to need it and discover it's rusted or soggy. Number 5. Garden seeds, vacuum sealed. Most people think survival is all about stockpiling cans and MREs, but what happens when those run out? If you're planning for the long haul, there's one item that can literally feed you for months, even years: vacuum-sealed garden seeds. And no, I'm not talking about random packets from the grocery store. I'm talking about heirloom, non-GMO seeds specifically packed for long-term survival. Here's the truth. In a full-blown crisis, economic collapse, grid failure, prolonged supply chain disruption store, shelves aren't getting restocked anytime soon. You need a renewable food source. Enter survival seed kits. These kits are airtight, moisture-resistant, and designed to last 5-10 years when stored properly. That means if you buy and stash them now, you're giving yourself a future food source that keeps giving. But not just any seeds will do. Look for heirloom varieties, because these allow you to harvest seeds from your crops and replant them, season after season. Hybrid seeds? Nope. They die off after one grows, leaving you with nothing but wasted soil and effort. You don't need acres of land either. A small backyard, balcony, or even containers can grow essential crops like tomatoes, beans, carrots, and greens enough to survive and stay nourished in hard times. Plus, growing food is a huge morale booster during long-term crises. Bottom line, a small bag of garden seeds is compact, affordable, and absolutely priceless when everything else runs out. If you're building a real survival plan, you need to think beyond stockpiling. You need to think about sustainability, and seeds are your first step. Number 6. Beeswax. Beeswax might sound like something you'd find in your grandma's candle drawer, but in a survival scenario, it transforms into one of the most versatile and valuable tools you can carry. This natural wax, produced by honeybees, has been used for centuries, and for good reason. It's waterproof, long-lasting, and incredibly useful in ways most people never consider. Let's start with fire. Beeswax is an excellent fire extender. When applied to cotton balls, cloth, or even paper, it helps them burn slower and hotter. That means when you finally get a spark going, beeswax makes sure it actually turns into a usable flame, even in damp or windy conditions. It's the difference between a spark fizzling out or turning into the fire that keeps you alive through the night. But it doesn't stop there. Got boots or jackets that aren't waterproof? Rub a little beeswax on them, and you've got instant weather protection. Need to seal a container or waterproof a matchbox? Beeswax has your back. It can even be used as a natural lubricant for stuck zippers, squeaky gear, or stubborn tools. Worried about open wounds? Beeswax mixed with a bit of oil can create a basic salve that helps protect cuts from infection. It also acts as a moisture barrier for your skin in extreme cold or dry environments. Here's the kicker: it never spoils. Properly stored, beeswax lasts forever. It doesn't rot, freeze, or melt easily in your pack. It's compact, multifunctional, and 100% natural. So while everyone else is hoarding batteries and canned beans, the smart prepper is tossing in a block of beeswax. It's not flashy, but it's absolutely essential when things go sideways. Number 7, binder clips. Let's be real, when you think of survival gear, binder clips probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. These little office supplies seem more at home holding reports together than saving your life in a disaster. But don't let their simplicity fool you. In a real-world crisis, binder clips are an unsung hero, ridiculously versatile, surprisingly strong, and endlessly useful. First off, let's talk about emergency shelters. Need to hang a tarp, poncho, or plastic sheeting for shade or rain protection? Binder clips can attach materials to rope, trees, or poles in seconds, no knots, no frustration. They're especially handy when you're dealing with wind or uneven surfaces where duct tape or cordage just won't hold up. And because they clamp tightly without damaging fabric, you can reuse them over and over without destroying your gear. Next, gear organization. In chaos, keeping your essentials secure and accessible is critical. Use binder clips to group cords, seal opened food packaging, or hang small tools from your backpack or belt. You can even clip important papers or maps and attach them to your clothing for quick reference. Need to air out socks or gloves near a fire? Clip them to a branch and let them dry. Another underrated use: securing wounds or splints in a pinch. If you run out of medical tape or bandages, a binder clip can help hold gauze or secure a makeshift splint on a broken limb. It's not ideal, but in survival, it's about what works. Here's why they're perfect for your kit. They're lightweight, nearly indestructible, and take up virtually no space. A small handful in different sizes gives you dozens of options when things go south. So yeah, next time you're prepping, grab some binder clips. They're cheap, dependable, and might just be the fix-it tool you never realized you needed until it's life or death. Number 8, super glue. You probably know super glue as the stuff that bonds your fingers together faster than your DIY project, but in a survival scenario, it's pure gold. This tiny tube of adhesive can play a surprisingly critical role when things get rough, especially when you don't have access to medical help, proper tools, or repair kits. Let's start with emergency first aid. Got a deep cut and no sutures or sterile bandages? Super glue can act as a temporary wound sealant. It helps close skin, reduce bleeding, and keep out dirt, giving your body time to heal and preventing infection. Military medics have used this method in the field for decades. Just make sure it's cyanoacrylate-based glue, and avoid getting it inside the wound. Apply only to the surface. Now, on to gear repair. Zipper on your backpack rip open? Boot soles peeling off mid-hike? Knife handle coming loose? Super glue bonds almost instantly and can hold surprisingly strong under stress. Whether it's repairing broken tools, patching up water bottles, or reinforcing seams on a tent, this little tube handles it all. It's also great for sealing waterproof items. You can reinforce seams in plastic bags, secure paracord knots, or patch tiny holes in tarps. It dries fast, it's weather resistant, and a single drop goes a long way. The best part? It's compact and virtually weightless. Toss a couple mini tubes in your survival kit and you're covered without adding any bulk. In short, super glue isn't just a household fix, it's a survival essential. From first aid to emergency repairs, this stuff can hold your gear and you together when things fall apart. Number 9, collapsible water container. Water is survival 101. But here's the thing: most people focus on finding water, not on how to store and carry it once they have it. Enter the collapsible water container, a lightweight, space-saving lifesaver that most preppers forget about until it's too late. Imagine this: you locate a clean water source miles from your shelter. Without a way to transport it efficiently, you're either forced to drink on the spot or make exhausting trips back and forth. That's not just inefficiency, it's dangerous when every step counts. A collapsible water container solves that instantly. When empty, it folds down to the size of a sandwich bag, taking up almost no room in your pack. But when do you need it? Boom, you've got the capacity to carry 5 to 10 liters of water at once. That means fewer trips, more stored water, and more time focusing on staying alive. Look for containers made from BPA-free, food-grade plastic with reinforced seams. A spout or on-off valve is a big bonus that lets you control water flow and reduces waste. Some even have handles for easy carrying or hanging, ideal for setting up a gravity-fed water system. They're also great for rain collection, dishwashing, or even emergency showers. Bottom line, water is life, and storing it properly is non-negotiable. For just a few bucks and a tiny amount of space, a collapsible water container gives you a huge survival advantage. Don't wait until you're dehydrated to wish you had one. Number 10. Aluminum foil. Aluminum foil. The same roll you use to wrap leftovers is actually one of the most underrated survival tools out there. It's insanely versatile, weighs almost nothing, and folds flat, making it a no-brainer for any bug-out bag or emergency kit. First up, cooking. If you're stuck in the wild or without power, foil becomes your go-to cookware. Wrap food like fish, potatoes, or wild greens in foil, toss it near the coals of your fire, and you've got a hot meal without a pot or pan. No cleanup, no fuss, just survival efficiency. Next, let's talk about signaling. Aluminum foil is highly reflective, which makes it an excellent emergency signal mirror. Cut a small piece, catch the sunlight, and you've got a distress beacon that can be seen from miles away. In dense forests or wide-open areas, that kind of visibility can mean rescue. Need to keep warm? Foil reflects body heat. If you line the inside of a shelter or sleeping area with foil, you can bounce heat back toward your body and retain warmth in cold conditions. Combine it with an emergency blanket for even better insulation. Other clever uses. Make a wind blocker for your fire, waterproof small gear by wrapping it in foil, or even use it to boil water in a pinch, shape it into a bowl and suspend it over a flame. The point is, aluminum foil isn't just for kitchens. It's lightweight, cheap, and multifunctional. In a true survival scenario, it's one of those items that delivers way more value than it gets credit for until the moment you desperately need it. Number 11. Portable wire saw. When you think of cutting wood in a survival situation, a big, heavy axe or saw probably comes to mind. But what if I told you there's a tool that fits in your pocket, weighs less than a candy bar, and can still slice through branches, roots, or even small trees? Meet the portable wire saw, one of the most efficient, space-saving tools you'll ever add to your survival kit. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. It's just a flexible, coiled wire with 2 rings or handles at each end. But when wrapped around a piece of wood and pulled back and forth in a sawing motion, it turns into a mini lumberjack. You can use it to collect firewood, clear a path, or even cut notches for shelter building. It's especially useful when stealth is required. Unlike an axe, it makes very little noise. The best part? It's ultra-portable. You can loop it through your belt, stash it in a pocket, or slide it into a small pouch with zero bulk. It's perfect for hikers, campers, and emergency preppers who value every inch of space in their gear. Just make sure to go for a high-carbon steel version with reinforced handle. Cheap ones tend to snap under pressure. Pro tip: if it doesn't have grips, you can use sticks through the loops to protect your hands and get better leverage. Whether you're building a shelter, gathering firewood, or clearing debris, a portable wire saw is the ultimate low-profile cutting tool. It's silent, compact, and incredibly effective, exactly what you want when every move counts. Number 12. Survival candies. High-calorie hard candy. It might sound strange, but a handful of hard candies could make a real difference when you're deep in survival mode. We're not talking about a sugar rush for fun. We're talking about high-calorie survival candies that serve a legitimate purpose when resources are low and energy is even lower. In high-stress situations, your body burns through energy at an accelerated rate, especially if you're on the move, cold, or injured. Hard candy offers a quick burst of glucose to keep you alert and functioning. No cooking, no chewing, no mess, just unwrap and go. It's perfect for staving off fatigue or lightheadedness when food is scarce. They also help with dry mouth, which can be a serious issue in survival situations. Sucking on a candy stimulates saliva production, keeping your throat moist and helping prevent dehydration symptoms from worsening. That's a small but vital edge when water is limited or rationed. And let's not overlook the psychological boost. In a world turned upside down, a familiar sweet flavor can offer a surprising amount of emotional comfort and stress relief. Something as simple as a peppermint or lemon drop can be a morale booster when everything else feels overwhelming. The best part? Hard candies are dirt cheap, last forever if stored properly, and take up virtually no space in your kit. Throw a small stash into your bug-out bag, glove box, or emergency drawer. When a crisis hits, you'll be glad you have more than just grit, you'll have glucose. Number 13. Pantyhose, stockings. Yeah, you read that right, pantyhose. Not exactly the kind of item you'd expect to find in a hardcore survival kit, right? But believe it or not, this stretchy, ultralight fabric is a survival multi-tool in disguise. Let's start with water filtration. Pantyhose won't purify water on their own, but they're excellent for pre-filtering, removing dirt, insects, and debris before boiling or treating it. That one simple step can make the difference between clean water and a stomach disaster. Then there's gear management. Cut them into strips and you've got cordage. Tie down tarps, lash items to your pack, or even improvise a sling or compression bandage. They're surprisingly strong and flexible. Need to keep bugs off your head or arms? Pull a pair over your hat or sleeves. Instant insect barrier. Trekking through tick-infested woods? Wear them under your pants to block bugs from crawling up your legs. They're also amazing for food storage. Stuff onions, garlic, or foraged plants inside, tie off each section, and hang them in a cool, shaded area. This keeps them dry and prevents spoilage. Lightweight, compact, and dirt-cheap pantyhose are the MacGyver material of survival gear. So next time someone laughs at the idea, hand them a pair and say, "We'll see who's laughing when the power goes out." Number 14. Plastic wrap, cling film. Plastic wrap isn't just for sealing leftovers, it's a surprisingly powerful tool in a survival situation. Thin, flexible, and incredibly lightweight, this kitchen staple can do far more than most people give it credit for. First off, it's waterproof, which makes it perfect for sealing gear, electronics, or important documents in wet environments. Wrap it tightly around your phone, matches, or first aid items, and you've got an instant moisture barrier. In the absence of a proper bandage, plastic wrap can also be used to cover wounds and hold gauze or fabric in place, preventing dirt and bacteria from getting in. While it's no substitute for medical-grade wrap, it's a whole lot better than leaving a cut exposed. Here's another unexpected use. Creating a solar still. If you need to purify water using evaporation and condensation, plastic wrap is essential. Lay it over a hole in the ground filled with moist vegetation or salt water, weigh it down in the center, and let the sun do the rest. It can also be used for insulation. Wrap it over clothes to trap body heat in cold weather. It's not breathable, so use it carefully, but when temperatures drop, every degree matters. Lastly, plastic wrap is a great wind blocker. Use it to seal up shelter gaps or create a quick windbreak when cooking outdoors. Compact, cheap, and multi-purpose, cling film is a survival sleeper hit. Don't underestimate it. Number 15. Paper clips. Paper clips, yep. The tiny metal ones you'd find buried in a desk drawer are surprisingly useful when everything hits the fan. These little guys are lightweight, durable, and shockingly versatile in a survival setting. And once you know what they can do, you'll never leave them out of your kit again. Let's start with the obvious: gear repair. Paper clips can temporarily fix broken zippers, replace missing screws and glasses, or hold torn fabric together until you find a better solution. Twist one into a hook or clasp, and suddenly you've got a functional fastener for bags, tarps, or clothing. But it gets better. Need to pick a basic lock on a shed or cabinet in an emergency? A paper clip bent just right can help. It's not something Hollywood made up. It's real, and while it won't crack a safe, it could get you into a crucial storage space when supplies are tight. Fishing line snap? Straighten and bend a clip into an emergency fishing hook. Need to clean out a clogged fuel port or gas stove nozzle? A paper clip is the perfect tool. They also work as trail markers when clipped to branches, or as wire to hold batteries in place if your flashlight's internal spring fails. Tiny, cheap, and absurdly flexible in how they can be used, paper clips are a true "why didn't I pack that?" item. Toss a handful into your survival kit, and you'll find they're worth their weight in gold when things go south. Here's the cold truth: most people won't make it through a real crisis, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't prepare. They laughed off the idea that something as small as a pencil sharpener or a strip of reflective tape could matter. But when the lights go out, when the shelves are empty, and help isn't coming, it's the little things that separate the survivors from the statistics. You've just seen 15 survival items that 90% of people will never think to pack, but now you know better. These aren't gimmicks. They're practical, proven tools that work when everything else fails. The kind of tools that buy you time, safety, and sometimes even a second chance. So don't just scroll away and forget this. If even one of these items surprised you or made you stop and think, imagine what else you're overlooking. Hit that subscribe button right now, Because every week we bring you the stuff no one's talking about until it's too late. Be smart, be ready, stay ahead.